Roll. 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 row. 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 Row.
Live from Plainville, Kansas, it's the Redmen and the Cardinals taking on each other in homecoming action in Week 4. I'm Eli Blankenship, joined alongside me, Kyler Rowden-Stum. We've got a good one this week. The Redmen are on the road taking on the Plainville Cardinals in their homecoming matchup. Should be a good one. I'm excited. It's a packed house here in Plainville, and we are ready to go.
Yeah, we've had very, very eventful games every single week. And so I expect nothing less, especially being a homecoming game. You know, Redmond coming in at 3-0 versus Plainfield coming in 1-2. You know, records cannot really, you know, they're iffy. You know, especially now going into district play this week. Every team is really fighting for it. These next games going to this mid to end of the season is really where it's going to matter, just because these are the games that's going to get you into the playoffs or not.
Yeah, these district matchups are some of the most important that you'll see all season long, especially some of your first district matchups can really set the tone for the season going forward. These two teams have quite a bit of history but between the two. It's really kind of a rivalry matchup, so to speak. And so with this being Plainville's homecoming game, you've got to think they have a lot to prove starting out the season 1-2, going against the undefeated Redmen so far in this season.
Yeah, and I know I talked with somebody earlier this week is it doesn't matter if the team starts over 3-0, 3-0, or 0-3. It just matters what happens after these games. And that's what I feel like, especially in starting your district play with a homecoming game, is going to really give you the benefit needed going into the rest of the season, because you know you got all the energy. You have a huge crowd out here tonight that's really going to be supporting you the whole night. So let's see what comes out, you know, what the component. But the Redmen are no one's going to be, you know, doubting them at all. Again, 3-0 record, that's something to be wary of.
Well, Smith Center went on quite a win streak at the end of their season last year. They won 4 straight games after dropping their first 5. And so they have a 7-game win streak so far. as they begin their 2025 campaign. Back to receive it for the Redmen. Looks like in the back is Cole McKelvey, excuse me. And additionally, that is Reed Doan. A short kick, end over end, goes out of bounds right near the 30-yard line on Smith Center's side of the field. And there'll be a flag on the play as that ball did not stay in bounds, and that will put Smith Center in pretty favorable field position to start the ball game.
Yeah, I assume they're going to take it there. You know, it's right there just past the 30. It gives them an extra, I believe, 10 yards, 10 or 5 yards here for an extra. And so with that, you know, it's not a bad place to start.
Plainville wearing their black uniforms with red accents, red numbers and red letters, and Smith Center wearing white this evening. They've got red accents as well. Both squads with red as a very prominent color. Smith Center also has kind of green mixed in there in a lot of their symbols. Parker Hutchinson, the quarterback for the Redmen, sets up in the I formation. Out of the gun. Tries to get him on a hard count. He goes, hands the ball off, and met behind the line of scrimmage is number 22, Riley Griffin Powers, the 5'8 junior, who is met with force and a tackle for loss to start the drive.
No gain. It was going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Looks like no tackle for loss in the play. They'll spot him right at the line of scrimmage. So no gain on the play, and now 2nd and 10 for the Redmen. Hutchinson in the I formation once again. Takes the snap. It's a handoff. Right up the middle is Brant Wilson. And he's met with quite a bit of force once again. Picks up a couple yards on the play, and that'll bring up 3rd and long for the Redmen.
And this is a very interesting situation in 11-man is these are the kinds you got to get the first down. A lot of the times you're not going to see them go on 4th downs. And like, you know, we've watched a lot of 8-man, a lot of open running. But with this many players on the field, it's very hard to convert those 4th downs. So I'm very excited to see what happens here.
I formation once again. One receiver out to the right, one receiver out to the left. In the shotgun formation, Hutchinson hands it off once again. This time he breaks outside. It's a keeper. Hutchinson still on his feet. Past the 40, the 30, inside the 20, the 10, all the way to the house. The Redmen strike and their very first drive.
And that was just, I thought it was bed up all the way back to the line of scrimmage. Next thing you know, I see them running out that left side. So what a great blocking. He stepped back and then moved to the outside run. What a great play.
Parker Hutchinson setting the tone early. The 5'11 senior takes it all the way to the house. The first score coming with 10:36 to go in the first quarter of play. The 2-point try on the way now for the Redmen. Hutchinson in the shotgun formation. Doesn't get the snap, fires it to the outside of the goal line. It's no good on the 2-point conversion. It was a bad snap to Hutchinson. He couldn't hold on to it. And it cost things to go south there on the 2-point conversion. But man, talk about striking early for the Redmen.
You're definitely right there. That is just, I don't know if it's just because they all thought he, again, like I said, I thought he got held up at the line there. And the next thing you know, he's running on that left side. So what a great job, again, getting back up and finding a hole and getting all the way through. And he's just turning on the wheels.
In the first 1 minute and 24 seconds, the Redmen set the tone. It'll be Plainville's turn to respond. And they've got to stay on pace if they want to keep this game within reach. Plainville retakes the field. Smith Center yet to break their huddle. It's a beautiful night here in Plainville, Kansas. The lights are on. It's Friday Night Lights, and the sun is starting to creep below the horizon as fall is very near here in the plains of western Kansas.
Wilson will be kicking off for the Redmen.
Smith Center breaks their huddle. Back to kick things off for the Redmen is Brant Wilson. A line drive kick goes right into the feet of number 3, Zane Stahl, who was able to scoop it up off the ground, but almost didn't hold on to it, and Smith Center almost had the opportunity there to recover that ball.
I definitely agree. That was one of the things about kickoffs is, little pooch hits like that are kind of hard to, kind of cover with, because if you don't have the greatest of hands and it bounces out there, it's a free ball, open ball.
Plainville will start their drive. And this first snap of the drive is a low snap, doesn't get to the hands of quarterback Joey Dottino. He jumps on it to save the play, and they'll lose about a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 13 for the Plainville Cardinals.
I like the idea of testing out right there, but Ken had to at least get to the line of scrimmage here. So they got a big plays here, just put them back in with the sticks.
Ball on their own 24, fires it to the outside. He's got Ari Patel. Patel breaks a tackle and is brought down inside their own 25-yard line. And it looks like they'll be pretty much right where they started the drive on their own 26.
So 3rd and long, got a lot to work with here. I saw them warming up earlier, airing it out a little bit, so they got the arm to move it down the field. They just need the receivers to get some space, and it's line to give them some time in order to get across. All they need is that first down.
In the first quarter. Dottino, one to his right in the backfield. It's a handoff. Straight to Puckett. Puckett breaks free, breaks a tackle, makes another man miss, and is brought down just past the 45-yard line. A big run for the Cardinals.
Huge run. I love the blocking there. There's a lot of help blocking. He found the gaps, and he just went for it. Broke a tackle right there to get him extra yards. That was right at the first down marker, so that was a big run they had to get going.
A gutsy call on 3rd and long pays off for the Cardinals. Dottino with one to his left in the backfield. He's got a man to the right side. He hands it off to Puckett. Puckett breaking to the outside and hit hard right around the 50-yard line.
6-yard gain.
A 6-yard carry for Drayden Puckett, the 6'1 senior. He picks up 5 yards in the play. They've got 5 to go on 2nd down.
Was the tackler there for the Redmen. Bring up 2nd and 5 for the Cardinals at midfield.
Ball at midfield. Dottino in the shotgun formation, one receiver to both sides. Excuse me, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. So running back to his left in the backfield. He'll hand the ball off to Puckett. Puckett, it's a keeper actually. And a late flag flies in the Redmen secondary after the quarterback keeper by Joey Dottino. And it'll be holding on the Plainville Cardinals. And that will push them back 5 more yards.
And those are one of the things, too, especially in a lot of football games we've seen, is flags will affect the game. So having a cleaner game is really going to be big here.
Well, we thought it was holding, but no signs of the ball moving backwards. And the officials are having a conversation here over the top of the ball. We'll see what the verdict here is in just a moment. I can't imagine that Smith Center would decline the penalty.
There we go. It just took them a second there. Wasn't sure what they really were confirming there. Moves them back 10 yards, and that's just a huge loss here. They got to move a lot of yardage here very shortly, but it's not the first thing we've seen it. 3rd and 10 there, made a great run. Now they have 2 plays to do this, 2nd down.
10-yard loss for the Cardinals. Two receivers out to the left. Dottino out of the gun. Drops back to throw it. Fires one to the outside. He's got a man. Caught by Patel. He's brought down right around the 46-yard line. Correction, 48.
And what a beautiful catch that was. He really extended his full body straight up, grabbed it, came down with it inbounds, and then was able to turn and run with it. So way to get yourself back in the stick and put yourself in a great place for a third down conversion.
3rd and 4 to go now for the Cardinals. Dottino, the running back to his left of the backfield. 2 to the outside. Gives it to him. This time it's Zane Stahl on the rush, who breaks right through the offensive line, slipping through the Redmen defense and picking up the first down for the Cardinals.
Another just great run. You know, the passing game's been there, but the runs have really excelled here. After the very first run of the game, you lost a couple yards. Now your blockers are getting blocked and you're finding those gaps. So they're doing quite well keeping up with it.
Dottino. One to his right in the backfield, sends a man in motion. It's a jet sweep to Brown, and Dottino is sacked behind the line of scrimmage, and it was a fake jet sweep. It's almost like an RPO there on that particular play. Dottino decided to keep the ball, and then instead, it ended up not paying off for him. He's brought down and a loss of about 3 or 4 yards in the play.
Yeah, I don't know if he saw a gap for a split second. He was like, okay, I'm going to hit that. And then, but as soon as he let go of it, pulled it away, that gap closed immediately and was just met in that backfield. So, again, another tough spot for second down, but as long as they keep going, we'll probably see another quick pass here. Pass defense is going to be really big here for Smith Center.
2 receivers out to the right. This time he hands the ball off. And the ball carrier looked to be Drayden Puckett. He's a little slow to get up on that play. He doesn't pick up a whole lot of yardage on the play, but gives them a little bit of a positive gain. They've got 12 to go now to extend this drive. 3rd and 12 for the Plainville Cardinals. 2 receivers out to the right. Dottino dropping back to throw it, fires to the outside, and has got a man! Ari Patel! A nice reception. It looks like they're going to spot him about a yard shy.
That's going to be about, yeah, yard, maybe just inside a yard. And that was another great, perfect throw right there. Got him above, beat his defender, and then almost got across that line.
4th in inches now for the Cardinals. They're going to go for it. It's a handoff. Tripped up, and the question is, does he pick up the first down? The near sideline official, which is not the closest to the ball, is standing on the 30. The far official marks him just short of the first down.
And that's rough, though. I'm surprised they didn't even ring out the chains for that, because I feel like that was pretty close. Because, like I said, you got a ref right there on the 30, the other one just behind it. And, you know, I feel like that's a need to bring out the chains to check that.
So it'll be a turnover on downs, and the Redmen will take over on their own 30-yard line. Smith Center leads at 6-0 over the Cardinals. Hutchinson lines up in the I formation. He's got 2 receivers out to the right. Handoff, breaking up the middle. And brought down pretty much right at the line of scrimmage, if not maybe a yard behind it. No gain on the play for Smith Center. 2nd and 10 on the way for the Redmen.
And so another, again, running it, you're going to see probably a lot of run plays from them, what they've shown a lot of. Unsure, like I said, in warm-ups too. I've seen them try airing it out in practice too. They have the arm for it. I'm excited to see what they bring out here. New kind of gives a little deep in there, or if they're just going to stick with the run game, see what Plainville is going to pull up for a defense.
Hutchinson tries once again for the hard count. The snap. Play action, it goes to Griffin Powers, who's brought down right at the line of scrimmage once again. Maybe a yard on the play will bring up 3rd and very long for the Redmen. They've still got quite a bit of work to do if they want to keep this drive alive.
I definitely agree with you there. Great job by Plainville after not converting on that 4th down there on a controversial, wondering if it should have been changed brought out, and then coming out on defense on their home night and playing great defense, not letting that run game get anywhere. So it's very 3rd and long, and so we're going to see what happens here, or if they're going to force the first punt of the game.
One receiver to both sides. Hutchinson in the I formation. Sends a man in motion. It's Stansberry. He goes out to the right side. This time it's a keeper. Hutchinson breaking to the outside. Makes a man miss and is brought down after a gain of about 4 or 5 yards on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down for the Redmen and likely will bring out the punting unit.
4th and 6 now for the Redmen.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I like it because that was similar to what they did the first time on the score. But this time, you know, Plainville was ready. They stayed their lanes, played that outside guy, and knew they had plenty of room. Now I'm excited to see they're huddled up there. Are they going for the punt, or if they're going to try to go for it? But it looks like man's going back there, so still a great job by Plainview defense.
Something to keep an eye on. Hutchinson is the one that's in the backfield lining up for the punt. Question will be, is this a trick play? Hutchinson will punt this one away. It's a spiraling punt and a very favorable bounce for Smith Center, as the ball is touched right on the 29-yard line, and that was where the Plainville Cardinals will take over.
And, you know, you talked about being a fake. He kind of sat there and looked like he hesitated. He didn't have it in punt area. It looked like he almost had his hands to throw it. And so we definitely had the idea to, you know, kind of look at the game and then also see if there was somebody just quick open, just get the easy first down.
3:24 to go in the first quarter of play. The Plainville Cardinals on their homecoming night take over on their own 29. To Tino. This time it's a handoff. It goes to Puckett. Puckett in with a wrap-up tackle. Will be brought down in just past the 35-yard line, right at the 36, and now 2nd and short on the way for the Plainville Cardinals.
Well, I've got a feeling we're going to be saying this 6'1" senior's name a lot tonight. He's been a very big game for this Plainview offense, and so he's going to keep, you know, excelling here as long as he gets those open blockers, and his blockers are doing so well, getting those gaps open for him.
Plainville with one receiver out to the right, 2 to the left. To Tino. Hands the ball off to Puckett. Puckett spinning past his first defender and is wrapped up and brought down for a loss of maybe a yard on the play. Yeah, they're going to spot him a yard behind where he came from. Still 3rd and 4 for the Cardinals.
Clock's running now in just over 2 minutes, and I'm excited to see, again, if they get it to the 4th down, if it's close, are they going to go for it, even if it's on their own yard line?
Ball on their own 35. To Tino. Drops back to throw it. Shimmies his shoulders, fires one to the near sideline. He has Patel. Patel hauls it in just past midfield and picks up a crucial first down for the Cardinals.
And what a great job. He scrambled out left. You know, his blockers gave him time, and then he's going to move, you know, and he's made a quick pass there. Defender, as soon as he caught the ball, defender hit him hard. So it was a great job by him holding on to the ball right at the line, or the out of bounds line, and then just dropping in there. Great job by both the receiver and, not Puckett, the Tino for the pass.
Tino, one to his left in the backfield, 2 receivers out to the right. This time it's a handoff to Puckett. Puckett breaking up the middle, still on his feet, brought down just shy of the 40-yard line. He pumped his legs all the way to the very end of that one. And correction, that's Zane Stahl. It looked like Puckett. They both run very similar stature. They're both tall kids and can really drive those legs, especially towards the end of those plays when you've got a lot of defenders trying to wrap them up.
Yeah, right there, close in height, and it's big run game here for the Plainville.
Tino sends a man in motion. Hands it off to Stahl. Stahl to the outside is wrapped up just past the line of scrimmage, right around the 41-yard line is where they're going to spot him. gain of a yard on the play, and 3rd and 3 on the way for the Plainville Cardinals.
Yeah, clock's under kick under a minute here, so they got to try to push it here to try to even it here right before the quarter ends. But great job on the front line. Picked up a block, but that linebacker was just quite ready for it. Filled that gap as soon as it was there, only allowing a yard gain. So great job by the defense here from Smith Center.
It's been quite a battle in the trenches so far between the two squads. And timeout called by the Plainville Cardinals with 43 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Play, we'll take one with them when we come back, the remainder of the first quarter. We welcome you back to Plainville, Kansas. It's homecoming night for the Cardinals, and they trail 6-0 against the Smith Center Redmen with 43 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. They're facing 3rd and 3 on the 41-yard line in Redmen territory. Plainville still trying to get their way onto the board. Datino, handoff to Puckett. Puckett right up the middle, breaks a tackle and is brought down past the first down marker. It's a fresh set of downs for the Cardinals.
Great job there. I like it. I like the timeout too early. You know, you're trying to move it in here. The clock's still running though as it stops. So they have to get set up here, moving a little bit there, and then the clock's going to start right back up into it. But I like what they're doing here. The puck is really running big. He's using that big size of his pump those legs like you were talking about.
Under 30 seconds to go now in the first quarter. Datino, one to his right in the backfield, 3 receivers out to his left. Hands the ball off to Puckett. Puckett runs out to the right and is wrapped up right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play for the Cardinals. Looks like they'll give him a yard on the play, and that will likely bring us to the close of the first quarter of play. It'll be 2nd and 9 to go for the Cardinals when we come back at the start of the second quarter. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Tiger Media Network's Area Game of the Week. We welcome you back to Plainville, Kansas. Smith Center Redmen leading the Cardinals on Plainville's home turf and on their homecoming night, 6-0 so far. The Cardinals slowly working their way down the field, trying to find their first score of the game. What did you see from that first quarter of play, Kyler?
You know, it's 6-0, but it really was just a great run, found a gap, and it just had blockers, too, that really led this score right now. So it doesn't mean, Plainville's out of it just because they've been moving the ball really well. Had an unfortunate call on their fourth down conversion, but they're picking right back up where they left off here on the other 35.
An early score puts the Redmen on top. The Plainville Cardinals start us off in the second quarter. Breaking free is Puckett. Puckett inside the 10, inside the 5, brought down right near the 3-yard line. A big run for Drayden Puckett to start the second quarter.
And that is exactly what I'm talking about. They have been picking up exactly where they left off, moving the ball down the field. So that fourth down conversion didn't really mean anything.
A late flag on the play is thrown and lands right on the 4-yard line. And it'll be interesting to see what the call is. The face mask called on the Redmen. And that will put the ball near the 2-yard line. It'll be half the distance to the goal. And first and goal for the Plainville Cardinals.
And that was, you know, big outside. That's still costly because the way they've been running with these short gains have been really good here. And so they might even it up right here.
1.5 yards to go to the goal line. Not much left to go to open up their scoring for the Cardinals. Tatino in the shotgun formation. A running back to his right. He's got Zane Stahl. 2 receivers out to the left. The snap. Hands it off to Stahl. Stahl breaking into the end zone. Touchdown Cardinals. You hear the train horn in the background, and the Cardinals have evened the score. It's 6-all.
What a great job. Like I said, they've been doing really, really well here, you know, converting those short gains. Like I said, they just had the one setback with that fourth down conversion that literally was probably inches away from getting that first down. So great work by them, moving the ball well, and then picking up right back where they left off. Also, great defense on the other side to get the ball back there and forcing them to punt.
The score is level at 6 apiece. Now it's time for the Cardinals to try to take an early lead here. Tatino sends a man in motion. He'll keep it. He goes up the middle and breaks through to the goal line. Does he have enough? He does! The Cardinals take a 2-point lead.
Now put the score at the 11-minute, 48-second mark in the second quarter. Plainville 8.
Plainville 8, Smith Center 6. The Cardinals strike back at the beginning of the second quarter, much like the Redmen did in that first quarter of play, where the first minute and a half of play, it was Parker Hutchinson with the big run. This time, Drayden Puckett leads the Plainville Cardinals right into the red zone, and they did what they needed to do when they got in that red zone.
You're definitely right there. Like I said, they did great work there, and I think the score from the Redmen, not to call it just a fluke, but it was everyone still was setting up, everyone was getting ready, and so, you know, it just takes time to get set. Now that they've been set, they had the pressure on them on their homecoming night, being down 6-0. They're like, we got to go score and then go up 2 more. That's just great work by them, especially getting the 2-point conversion. Being already ahead of, you know, the Redmen here gives them an advantage on this edge, especially the way the defense has been playing here tonight.
The Plainville faithful showing their approval of their home squad. They score within the first 12 seconds of the second quarter of play. Plainville kicks things off. And the ball goes out of bounds right on the 25-yard line, and that's going to hurt the Cardinals once again. That's the second time we've seen that happen on a kickoff tonight.
And so I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to get it in that corner there, and a little bit deeper maybe is the goal, or if they want to keep it short and try to get to it, but they're trying to kick it away from somebody from running it back, and so which is a great idea, but, you know, a lot of the time it's going to hurt you eventually because one of these kicks is going to be a little too short, and they're going to be already close here to midfield. So, again, another great run. They're not going to have as much room as they would have in the first if they just kicked it all the way in for a touchback or just let them run it in the backfield.
11:48 to go. and the Redmen will take over on their own 35. Hutchinson in the I formation. It's a handoff right up the gut, met right at the line of scrimmage. And the battle of the trenches continues in this ball game. 2nd and 10 coming up now for the Redmen.
And you've seen a lot of run game from, this Smith Center, and you're wondering if they're going to not just have the receivers to get it, or if they're just waiting to save these receivers the passing for when they're really needed. And honestly, it's getting close to that. We're going to have to start seeing some quick passes just to change up the game.
Hutchinson with one receiver to both sides. He lines up in the I formation. On his own 35. Play action. Hands it off to the outside. He's brought down well behind the line of scrimmage. On the carry was Riley Griffin Powers, who was met with force right around for the Redmen. 3rd and long. Cardinals look to make a stand. Hutchinson with 2 to the right. He lines up in the I formation. Snap goes back. This time he'll drop out, rolling out to the right. Firing one downfield, no one there. The Cardinals make a stand.
And, we talked about score records coming into this game. Smith Center coming in 3-0, and the Cardinals coming in here 1-2. A lot of teams will look at that, oh, this is going to be a blowout. An undefeated team versus a team who already has 2 losses. That is not how football works. You may have lost last week, but every week is a new week for, teams to come into this, because it's new energy, new excitement for it, and that's why Plainville is playing so well, is because they're here to win, especially on their homecoming night.
Very competitive football being played from both squads so far. 10:27 to go, and the Redmen are ready to punt things away. Parker Hutchinson once again lines up to punt it away. This time an end-over-end punt is hauled in for the Cardinals. Breaking to the outside is Crispin Myers. He brings it up to the 37-yard line. That's where the Plainville Cardinals will take over as they lead it 8-6.
One thing to mention, too, about this Smith Center offense, other than the touchdown run, they have not gotten an actual first down in this game yet, compared to Plainville's 4 here, just moving it down the field, and 5 here. I forgot to add the one here in the second quarter just before they got in. So not adding that in there is just not been well for them, not being able to push the ball down the field.
Comes to show one explosive play can completely change the outlook of the game. And it looks like the Plainville Cardinals will have to burn yet another timeout to avoid the delay of game penalty. We'll take one with them when we come back. The remainder of the second quarter of action. You're watching Tiger Media Network's Area Game of the Week. We welcome you back to Plainville, Kansas on homecoming night. The lights are bright, and the Cardinals have really risen to the occasion so far. They lead it 8-6. Dottino One to his left in the backfield, fakes the throw downfield. This time he fires it, slinging it downfield, and a late flag comes out. It's likely going to be pass interference on the play, just past the 40-yard line in Redmen territory.
And that was number 1 there for Smith Center, Cole McKevely. He was all over him, not even looking towards the ball. He just was like, I cannot let this guy catch this ball. And so he was all over him. That's the thing. As a pass defender, you got to be aware of the ball first, or else those are going to be calling you all night long, and that is not something you want.
And they are going to call pass interference on the Redmen. The intended receiver there, Ryken Brown, had room to run, and it almost looked like the ball was overthrown by just a hair, but that shove out of bounds at the very end of that play is what got the pass interference call in favor of the Cardinals.
Yeah, an automatic first down, too, is going to hurt.
Cardinals line up in the shotgun formation. 2 receivers out to the left. This time it's a run right up the middle. Puckett breaks a tackle. Brought down right inside the 40-yard line. A pretty nice gain for the Cardinals.
Another great job. They've been mixing up with these pass and run plays. It's been really, really deadly against the Smith Center defense because they're not sure how to defend this, and they have been struggling to even get back there against this big front line here that's Plainville is having against protecting their quarterback.
Clock continues to tick. 9:45 left to go here in the second quarter. Dettino with 1 to his left in the backfield. 2 receivers out to the left. Handoff. This time it's to Puckett. Puckett will pick up the first down and bring up a fresh set of downs for the Plainville Cardinals.
And they've been just doing a great job on pushing it down the field, you know, giving them a lot of work here. Even if it's slowly but surely, they're running time off the clock and then making great jobs moving it another. Smith Center's got to figure out a way, you know, to put a stop to this, make a big defensive stand because they're going to start putting in themselves in a really sticky situation.
So far, the Cardinals have done a nice job at pounding the rock. Dettino. 1 to his right in the backfield. It's a handoff. This time it goes to Stahl. Stahl breaking to the outside. Brought down right around the 29-yard line in Redmen territory. And that'll make second down much more manageable for the Cardinals.
Cardinals doing a great job tonight, like I said, keeping it going, and then they keep doing it. They keep pounding, finding those gaps, and great. The blocking has been amazing here against this line. Smith Center has to figure out how to get off those blocks, or at least make a draw a penalty or something for the holding. But as of right now, only 1 penalty is being called, and it was a holding one against the Cardinals here tonight.
4 yards to go to the first down. Dettino in the shotgun formation, the snap. Hands it off. This time it's to Puckett. Puckett breaks right up the middle and picks up the first down. Correction, that's Zane Stahl. Like I said, both of those guys just look so similar. And from the side profile, I mean, they're really similar in stature. They've only really got a couple inches in a height difference.
And, you know, they run the exact same, like I said, they just powerhouses, using those long legs they have there and just trugging through everybody, and that's a real big weapon. When you have 2 of those guys, as well as they can also catch, too, so quick pass-outs are really good for them.
Both very physical backs. This time the ball goes to Stahl. Stahl goes right up the middle, brought down after a gain of about 2 yards. Not as big of a gain this time. It'll bring up second and medium for the Cardinals.
Well, compared to when we're talking 8 men to 11, you only got 10 yards to go. So these small gains are actually bigger than what a lot of people think so. So 2 yards, 3 yards on a first down is really good there. You're setting up a little bit close for those quick passes if need be when you get to the third down conversion, or just do another great run to that open side on these second downs.
Ball on the Redmen 20. Dettino takes the snap. This time it goes to Puckett. Puckett goes up the middle and is brought down very powerfully by the Redmen. Right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll stay at 3rd and 7. 7:15 to go here in the second quarter. Plainville still in their huddle. Game clock now dipping below 25 seconds. Play clock now inside 15. Huddle's broken. Dettino with Puckett to his left in the backfield. Has 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Sends a man in motion. Drops back to throw it, fires one to the end zone. Does he have him? No! Incomplete. The intended receiver, Ari Patel, who was right under the ball, the 6'1", 6'4" junior, a big target in the end zone, wasn't able to haul that one in for the touchdown.
And that was almost perfectly right there. It was right on the edge there. He just couldn't quite get the good enough hand on it. Great pass defense on him, too. He was right there, not doing what they had pass interference they had earlier all over him. He was playing great distance, but also making a really tough catch to make for him.
Smith Center looking to make a stand now for the Redmen. And it looks like Plainville will burn their third and final timeout of the half with 6:45 to go here in the second quarter, as they are on the Redmen 20-yard line with 4th and 7. It's an interesting situation now for them. Do they kick the field goal? Do they go for it on 4th down in the red zone?
And so this is, like I said, with 11 men, it's very, very tough. High school is very different from the upper ways, but you got a lot of talents, but you have enough to go 7 yards. I know you're 0-1 on 4th down just from an unlucky met at the line scrimmage, being little inches from it. And this time you got a lot more distance to go, and you have a chance if you got a good enough leg to kick the field, just go up a few more. It's not a full score yet. It'll be 5 points, but still good enough to just add points onto it and keep tacking it going.
From here, it will be a 30-plus yard field goal. That's not an easy kick to make at any level, really. I mean, for most of these teams that are in these smaller divisions, it's a lot harder for them to get kickers with big legs, and especially here at a high school level.
And the ball's actually on the 30-yard or 20-yard line, so it'll be 30. It's actually going to be kicked back, so it's going to be closer to a 35, 37-yard field goal. So having a leg, it is rare. We have seen a couple here who can actually boot it so well that they're going to put them up there for extra 3 points here. So I'm excited to see where they come out here for this offensive play.
You've got to think, if you turn the ball over here, it's not a big deal with you being on Smith Center's 20-yard line. I don't see any signs of kicking from the Cardinals, so it looks like they're going to go for it on 4th and 7. Dottino has Puckett to his left in the backfield. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Sends Puckett in motion. Brown in motion. Dottino moving his shoulders, looking to the left side of the field, fires one downfield, and it goes well out of bounds and incomplete. And it'll be a turnover on downs in favor of Smith Center. They'll take over on their own 20.
And, that was very interesting. He had a lot of pressure come on him, had the motion. I was trying to figure out if they were trying to isolate the receiver here on the right. And because he was looking there first, and then he ran out of time, just had to air it out so that way they couldn't get anywhere closer if he sacked, hoping, one of his guys was down the field.
Smith Center trailing by 2 points, 8-6, behind the Cardinals. They'll start their drive on their own 20-yard line. And Hutchinson and his offense look to try to even the score here with 6:40 to go in the second quarter. Hutchinson in the I formation. It's a handoff on the first play of the drive. It's stopped up after a short gain of maybe a yard or so.
Yeah, they're keeping along with that, run game in the middle. It's making me think if their passing is a little restricted for them tonight, if, it doesn't have the arm feeling well, or if the receivers just aren't there. So I'm excited to see if they're going to keep this run game going, which hasn't really worked at all, except for that one open play that just got open well. But since then, the Cardinals have been really well on defense, stopping anything from getting past them.
2nd and 8 now for the Redmen. Hutchinson, the I formation once again. He's got a receiver to both sides. 6 minutes to go here in the second quarter. A quick pass out into the flat. He's got a man. This time it goes to Reed Doan, who's brought down after picking up just enough for the first down. That'll move the chains for the Redmen and extend their drive for at least a few more plays.
And so that was their first down in the second quarter. Like I said, they had the touchdown, which they gave them one earlier. So only first down in this game, being down 2 is not bad, but they really need to get their offense rolling here if they don't want to be in a bad situation going into the half.
A nice pass out into the flat there for Hutchinson. See if they go back to that at any point in this game. Hutchinson, this time it's a handoff. And looks like he keeps it himself. A couple of yards on the gain for that play. It'll be 2nd and 8 on their own 30-40-yard line. And gain of about 2 yards on the play puts the Redmen in all right position here for the remainder of this set of downs. Hutchinson stays in that I formation. Tries to catch the Cardinals on the hard count, and he does. He's been doing that all night long, and it's just a matter of time before you really have to start playing more mental football. And especially into the later parts of the second quarter, you've got to think guys are starting to get tired, and that's where you really have to use your head, especially with teams that try to get the other squad on the hard count. Those penalties can really add up and help a team drive down the field. Hutchinson with the same set. The snap. Hands the ball off to Griffin Powers, who is met pretty much right at the line of scrimmage. It looks like he'll pick up a yard on the play, and that brings up 3rd and 3 now for the Redmen.
Once again, with 2 yards to go, it's 3rd down.
Big 3rd down now for Plainville. 3rd and 3. Redmen line up in the I formation. Receiver out to the right. The snap goes back. Handoff up the middle is stopped to right at the line of scrimmage. And that will bring up 4th and short, and likely will bring out the Redmen punting unit.
And, you know, I don't know if I like that design of that play, just because they ran it straight into this group of guys, didn't even try adjusting himself to find some extra yards on the outside. Because if he did, he might have had that. He's about a yard short from there. Literally falling forward would have given him that 1st down. Like I said, when you go into the group of guys like that, that falling forward kind of limits yourself. You have to go backwards or to the side, and that's where you lose those extra 1-2 yards, resulting in exactly where they are right now.
4th and 1. I formation for the Redmen. Hutchinson with a receiver out to the right. This time he takes it himself right at the gut. Does he have enough? And it looks like he does. The far side official shows 1st down, and they'll give it to him.
And there you go. There's actually the first one to convert a 4th down conversion here. You know, Plainville's 0-2 here, kind of struggling there on the offense. But, you know, have to keep this momentum going for Smith Center, especially with the clock winding down here.
Gutsy play call from the Redmen pays off on 4th down. Ball in their own 43. Clock winding down, nearing the 3-minute mark. 1st and 10. Hutchinson with 2 receivers out to the left this time. He lines up the I formation. The snap. Rolls out to the right. It's a keeper. He's going to throw it right out of bounds to his own sideline, avoiding the loss of yards. A late flag comes out.
Ian, I wonder, I don't know if it's going to be a far away from it. So my idea of what this flag is going to be, I thought it might have been grounding, but I wasn't sure just because it was on the other side or if it was a holding.
Illegal man downfield is the call against the Redmen. And on that particular play, it actually cannot be intentional grounding because he made his way outside the tackle box there in the middle of the field. Getting Hutchinson out of the tackle box, he knew he was out of there. That's why he threw that to his near sideline. And that was what saved him there on that particular play. But illegal man downfield will come back to bite him as they'll be pushed back some yards. Looks like they'll give him 5 yards on the loss. And that will put the ball, on their own 38. Now 2:49 left to go here in the second quarter. Time starting to wind down. Same set as last time. Hutchinson, this time he hands it off to Powers. Powers breaks through the gap. He's got nobody near him. Green grass in front of him all the way to the house. The Redmen take a 6-point lead, a 4-point lead.
That was a very big play, just like the first touchdown. They finds that gap, and he's just gone there. What a great job by him again, being a big thing, especially after the penalty against him, moving him so far back. He knew he needed to have a big play, and he showed up and did it right there.
2 big plays and 2 big touchdowns for the Redmen. Both of their touchdowns coming on very long runs. First one credited to Parker Hutchinson. This one going to Riley Griffin Powers. Now a big 2-point conversion on the way for the Redmen. Snap goes back to Hutchinson. He looks to throw it, finds a man to the outside, almost picked off. The intended receiver, Cole McClelvey, who was unable to haul it in, and that will be a stop on the 2-point conversion and a 4-point lead for the Redmen. They lead at 12-8 with 2:38 to go here in the second quarter.
And if I'm going to be honest, missing that 2-point conversion there was huge for Cardinals, because score right here is going to put them right up before a half. You know, if the Smith Center was able to get in there, it would have made it 6. They would have had to score a 2-point conversion just to keep up with them. Now they're down 2 of them compared to the 1 score just from the Plainville Cardinals. So they're in comfortable position, I would say. You've got plenty of time, 2:36 left to go. And so a lot of time to work with, especially the way they've been doing, and the pass game's been working. So you know they got the pass game. You know might see a little bit more of that coming down with a run here and there. But they want to try to use this clock to maybe take the lead back without giving Smith Center enough time to go back and do the exact same thing they're about to do.
So far, Plainville's done a nice job at playing slow, methodical football and then getting those big plays and being playmakers when they needed them to the most. And that's really paid off for them coming down the stretch here in the late moments of the second quarter. Smith Center, it seems like every time they touch the football is either a big play and a touchdown or a really quick drive that usually leads to a turnover or a punt of a sorts. And it's interesting between these two squads, the very different play styles.
No, I definitely agree with you there. Smith Center's really kept long and loyal to that run game, where versus the Cardinals here have really been mixing up in a dual threat in the air and on the ground. And so that's one of the things too, is these teams go at each other more than often than not, because one team either chooses, but Plainville's really a rare sight to see, because like I said, you either have an arm to throw and receivers to catch, or you have the run game. So I'm excited to see what they continue to do, especially throughout the season.
2:38 to go here in the second quarter of play. Picked up right around their own 20-yard line, and that's where he's brought down. Ryken Brown on the return for the Cardinals. And it looks like they'll spot the ball right around the 22-yard line. And that is where they'll take over with a long field and a lot of work to do with very little time left to go here in the second quarter of play.
So if I'm Smith Center going in this, I'm planning on having guys back a little bit, because like I said, you've seen a lot of passes there, have some yards. So you want to respect that pass game a little bit, but also their run games are doing really well. So you've got to kind of balance this out.
Tatino fires one out into the flat. And that looks like Ari Patel. He breaks well to the outside and picks up a first down. What's going to get Plainville in trouble here is the clock. They have no timeouts left here in this half. They burnt all 3 of them in those first couple drives that they had. So the clock will continue to run. Now 2:20 to go here in the second quarter. Cardinals trying to play quick. Tatino will hand the ball off, and a very short gain for the Cardinals, maybe a yard or 2 on the play. Will bring up second down.
Yeah, quick ball here is what we call it here, just trying to move the ball down the line. A lot of passing here, especially as the clock getting closer to that 60-second, under the 2 minutes.
2-minute drill offense coming up now for the Cardinals. 2 receivers out to the right. He's got a man in the backfield to his right as well. This time it's a throw. He's got his man, it's Ari Patel. He gets out of bounds, and that will stop the clock, and a pretty nice gain there for Ari Patel.
And there's one of the things they've been doing is the receivers just been sitting there. So the beautiful passing there, you know, from Tatino was just amazing. Straight to the receiver, he grabs it and immediately turns with it.
A flag right near the line of scrimmage. A late flag at that comes out, and it looks like the Cardinals are going to be moving back based on where they're at on the field. The center official is looking up to the press box to make the official call. It'll be face mask on, or correction, holding on the Cardinals. That will push them back 10 yards on the play, and that's going to sting for the Cardinals after a pretty nice catch downfield that could have put them in a lot better field position with now under 2 minutes to play here in the second quarter. 2nd and 18 for the Cardinals. 2 receivers out to the right. One running back in the backfield to his left. Dottino sends a man in motion. The snap, it's dropped. Puckett gets on top of it. And Smith Center has the football. No ruling from the center official yet. Looks like the ball will stay with the Cardinals. The entire Smith Center sideline was pointing the other direction, saying they had the football. It looked like the Cardinals may have gotten down on the play, and the clock will continue to run. With 1:20 left to go here in the second quarter.
That could have been a really bad thing, putting Smith Center with plenty of time to get into that end zone. So great job for Puckett to get back on top of that.
3rd and 18 now for the Cardinals. The snap goes back to Dottino. It's a handoff to Puckett. Puckett breaks to the outside. This makes a man miss, and a late flag comes from the sideline after a gain of about 5 or 6 yards on the play. We're very close to the 1-minute mark here in the second quarter. It'll be interesting to see what this flag is as to whether or not the Cardinals will be coming back or not, or, you know, if it is a penalty on the Cardinals, is it smart for the Redmen to decline? The white hat comes to midfield.
Block.
And Smith Center will decline the penalty, and that, what you just said there was a block in the back, and that's a big no-no, and will set up a 4th down for the Cardinals, and likely a punt coming out here for them with the ball on their own 35.
Yeah, and that's very, sticky situation, just because, you had a chance to really put down, and the penalties really hurt you here, and, that's big stuff you got to worry about.
And lots of whistles and a timeout called by Smith Center. And so with 1 minute and 2 seconds left, we'll take one with them when we come back. The remainder of the second quarter of play. You're watching Tiger Media Network's Area Game of the Week. We welcome you back to Plainville, Kansas. The Cardinals getting ready to punt things away on their own 35-yard line after a pretty detrimental set of downs there with lots of penalties really in the works there for them. They've got 1 minute and 2 seconds to punt this one away, and likely the Redmen will look to try to make a quick drive before halftime with a 4-point lead. Drop the snap, and he'll get it off just in time. A late flag comes at the end of that play, and that will be likely roughing the kicker.
You're exactly right there. Had the kickoff, rolled out left, and then I couldn't see the number there. He came in there and kind of took out that single leg on him. He kind of looking downfield, so he was not paying attention to the kicker and just kind of ran into him. But if you're a rusher for that on the punt return or on the punt return team, you got to be aware of that. If you're rushing, even if the ball's far away, you can still get that penalty regardless. He's defenseless the entire time until he starts moving down the field to go get the tackle.
Especially with that back leg, that's always what officials will look for. If you hit that leg, I mean, you're almost always going to get a roughing the kicker penalty there on that particular instance. And so now the question is, it looks like Plainville declined the penalty. And it wasn't enough yards for a first down. That's the only way that that penalty would be applied there. And so Smith Center will hold on to the football. It'll be 1st and 10 for them on their own 29-yard line.
Yeah, and that's what I was wondering too. I guess they were so far behind with the penalties and then the sack there at the end. So really rough times here for these Cardinals. They got to play great defense like they have been. Fortunately, with the last game, just play great here not to go down 2 scores.
Under a minute left to go here in the second quarter. Hutchinson looking to drive down the field with his Redmen. He sets up the I formation, 2 receivers out to the right. The snap, dropping back to throw it. Looking to the outside, finds a man in the flat. Breaking up the middle, breaking a tackle. It's Cole McKelvey on the reception. He picks up about 5 yards on the play, and will bring up 2nd and medium.
Brown was the tackler for the Cardinals.
I formation once again, 2 receivers out to the right. The snap goes back to Hutchinson. He drops back to throw it, rolling out to the left side. Directing traffic, throws a short pass up the middle. It's incomplete. Intended receiver this time was Reed Doan. Pass is incomplete. That brings up 3rd and what looks about 3 yards to go with 21 seconds left to go here in the second quarter.
Like I said, another 2-minute drill is kind of what you're thinking. Is now under 60-second here. Big 3rd down here for them. They've been struggling to try to get across here, but Cardinals have been playing really good. They need to get back there, make a big stop, or even maybe a turnover just to end the first half. Even if fumble, I don't even know if they pick it up and take it back just to avoid the risk.
3rd and 4. I formation, a receiver to both sides. Hutchinson back to take the snap. Play action, rolling out to the left, dodging a man. The ball pops out. He jumps on top of it. And he's brought down right on the 20-yard line. A big sack for the Cardinals.
Huge sack all the way back there, outside the 6 and everything. Like I said, it's like I spoke it into his things. The turnovers right there is what you have to do. Luckily, he was able to get up to it and avoid and jump on it to avoid kick it back the other direction. Or excuse me, at least end the quarter and just not get anything go bad around with it.
Cardinals had no timeouts, so they couldn't force the Redmen to punt, and that will bring us to the close of the first half of play. A pretty close first half, to say the least. The Redmen lead it 12-8. What were your thoughts on that first half of play, Kyler?
It was very, different sides. I like what for starting off with Smith Center, I like what they were doing to stay with the run game. It's been working well as long as their blocks get out there and get going. But they have struggled getting across that first down marker, which is really what's been killing them, is not getting enough plays on the offense to make it work. On the Plainville side, they've been doing really well, moving the ball down the field, but they've had, like I said, the 4th downs have really been killing them, not being able to convert on that. The second one was a really interesting play call because, they called it out, and it just was a run up the middle. They had 7 yards to go, even though their quick passes have been working here. So I'm excited to see what both teams come out here, if they're who's going to adjust better to the other team. You get the first half out of the way. The second half is really where everyone gets down and gritty with it and just, works out all the kinks here to win this game.
Well, it's halftime. We're going to take a break with them. You won't want to miss it, folks. Do not go anywhere. Second half of action next. The Redmen lead it 12-8 on Tiger Media Network's Area Game of the Week.
The computer networking students take a variety of IT-related classes that help them get hands-on experience with managing and operating, designing, engineering, repairing, and maintaining computer network systems.
A lot of different organizations have IT and IT needs, and so our students really are well prepared to go out and help users on the network of these different organizations and companies and be able to make sure that they're connected and able to do what they need to do.
So our concentration is focused on cybersecurity, And at the undergrad level, what we're really focused on is getting you the teams for Blue Team. And so we're trying to get you familiar with operating systems, including Windows and Linux. And then we're also going to get you in the networking side of things and focus in on the fundamentals of network security.
This program is preparing students for IA track, which is information assurance, and more hands-on track for technical skills.
So the digital media production and journalism program focuses on producing video, film, and news programming for television, corporate video work, film, streaming media, and more. So we really give everyone a good hands-on approach to learning how to create good stories that are going to engage audiences and do it in a very artistic way.
Our concentration is the web and mobile application development concentration within the informatics degree program. And so I like to say we're all things web. All the services that you use on the web, our students are building, creating, architecting. Orchestrating, quickly tying together all of these experiences. And so what does that entail? What new skills does that require? And so that's what we're trying to add into our program right now to keep this field, what we do here at Fort Hays, relevant for our students.
At Fort Hays State University, our tourism and hospitality program offers a variety of enrollment options such as online, on-campus, or a hybrid of the two. As travel and tourism grows into one of the top industries in the world, our program provides you with valuable education and industry experience. With our accelerated 3-year program at an affordable price, you can get your degree in 3. Visit our website today to learn more.
The computer networking students take a variety of IT-related classes that help them get hands-on experience with managing and operating, designing, engineering, repairing, and maintaining computer network systems.
A lot of different organizations have IT and IT needs, and so our students really are well prepared to go out and help users on the network of these different organizations and companies and be able to make sure that they're connected and able to do what they need to do.
So our concentration is focused on cybersecurity. And at the undergrad level, what we're really focused on is getting you the teams for Blue Team. And so we're trying to get you familiar with operating systems, including Windows and Linux. And then we're also going to get you in the networking side of things and focus in on the fundamentals of network security.
This program is preparing students for IA track, which is information assurance, and more hands-on track for technical skills.
So the digital media production and journalism program focuses on producing video, film, and news programming for television, corporate video work, film, streaming media, and more. So we really give everyone a good hands-on approach to learning how to create good stories that are going to engage audiences and do it in a very artistic way.
Our concentration is the web and mobile application development concentration within the informatics degree program. And so I like to say we're all things web. All the services that you use on the web, our students are building, creating, architecting. So orchestrating, quickly tying together all of these experiences. And so what does that entail? What new skills does that require? And so that's what we're trying to add into our program right now to keep this field, what we do here at Fort Hays, relevant for our students.
At Fort Hays State University, our tourism and hospitality program offers a variety of enrollment options such as online, on campus, or a hybrid of the two. As travel and tourism grows into one of the top industries in the world, our program provides you with valuable education and industry experience. With our accelerated 3-year program at an affordable price, you can get your degree in 3. Visit our website today to learn more.
The computer networking students take a variety of IT-related classes that help them get hands-on experience with managing and operating, designing, engineering, repairing, and maintaining computer network systems.
A lot of different organizations have IT and IT needs, and so our students really are well prepared to go out and help users on the network of these different organizations and companies and be able to make sure that they're connected and able to do what they need to do.
So our concentration is focused on cybersecurity. And at the undergrad level, what we're really focused on is getting you the teams for Blue Team. And so we're trying to get you familiar with operating systems, including Windows and Linux. And then we're also going to get you in the networking side of things and focus in on the fundamentals of network security.
This program is preparing students for IA track, which is information assurance, and more hands-on track for technical skills.
So the digital media production and journalism program focuses on producing video, film, and news programming for television, corporate video work, film, streaming media, and more. So we really give everyone a good hands-on approach to learning how to create good stories that are going to engage audiences and do it in a very artistic way.
Our concentration is the web and mobile application development concentration within the informatics degree program. And so I like to say we're all things web. All the services that you use on the web, our students are building, creating, architecting. Orchestrating, quickly tying together all of these experiences. And so what does that entail? What new skills does that require? And so that's what we're trying to add into our program right now to keep this field, what we do here at Fort Hays, relevant for our students.
At Fort Hays State University, our tourism and hospitality program offers a variety of enrollment options such as online, on-campus, or a hybrid of the two. As travel and tourism grows into one of the top industries in the world, our program provides you with valuable education and industry experience. With our accelerated 3-year program at an affordable price, you can get your degree in 3. Visit our website today to learn more.
We welcome you back to Plainville, Kansas. The Redmen of Smith Center leading it 12-8 after the first half of play, and what was a very run-heavy offense and 2 big plays, both from Parker Hutchinson and additionally Riley Griffin Powers. Both of those guys punching it in for 6 for the Redmen. Only 1 score for the Plainville Cardinals, but they went for 2, and they were able to convert on that play, which put them up by 2 points. And then once Smith Center scored, Smith Center is only now up by just 4 points, even though they have 2 touchdowns.
I definitely agree with you there. Not getting those 2-point conversions, at least one of them puts them in a very rough situation, because next score from Smith Center, or excuse me, from Plainville, if they get the ball this half, is going to put them down 2 and then possibly 4 points and really put them in a rough situation. They need to capitalize on offense today.
We are about ready to kick things off here in the beginning of the second half. A line drive kick kind of bouncing off the grass. And it's handed off to Puckett. Puckett breaking to the outside, inside the 50, brought down right at the 37-yard line. A handoff in the backfield leads to a big gain for the Cardinals right on the first play of the drive.
And that was a kind of a botched kick return, too, because the ball bounced. They were kind of figuring out what was going on with it there, and then he just grabbed it and found that line, because on outside line they have lanes. He did not feel his lane. Whoever was on the outside, he just got it going. Thank gosh someone was in that backfield there to stop him there, or he was going to the house early.
In the shotgun formation, it's a handoff to Puckett. Puckett breaking to the outside once again, brought down just past the 30-yard line, and a late flag flies on the play, and it looks like a late hit may add to the yards that Puckett was able to pick up there on that play.
And it might there. That's one of the things, too. Wasn't sure if he just was late getting to her, didn't think it was out of bounds, but you got to be aware of those things as a player here for Smith Center, especially when you're in a very interesting. You might be up 4 points, but that's only 4 points. That's not even a one score. That's one score. It's he gets in the end zone. They're up back again by 2, possibly 4 points.
And the chains are moving quite a ways up the field.
Yeah, 15-yard penalty. Like I said, that's the fourth 15-yard penalty Smith Center had to have against them.
Plainville now on the Redmen 15-yard line. 2 receivers out to the right. Running back in the backfield. It's a handoff. It goes to Stahl. Stahl going right up the middle. And a late flag on the play. This time closer to the Plainville offensive line. And it looks like it's going to be holding on the Cardinals. So that'll push them back 10 yards on the play.
And that's about the only call other than a block in the back against the Cardinals here today. They've just had trouble with the holding here. They got 4 flags against them with that. One of them was, the block in the back was declined. The 4 holdings that were all called against them. Again, put them in a rough situation right before half.
Ball will now be on the Redmen 24-yard line for the Cardinals. 1st and 21. Tino sends a man in motion. Now I'll hand it off to Stahl. Stahl breaks to the outside and is brought down out of bounds just past the 20-yard line. And that will bring up 3rd down and still quite a bit of yards to go for the Cardinals.
Yeah, with that holding call, puts them very far back behind them, so they got a lot of yards to go here. Still have a first down opportunity. It's not first or second and goal or anything like that, but still need to relax. They've done this before in the first half. Make a good plays. They got 2 plays here without 4th down here to move the ball, get to first down, and then punch it in.
2nd and 15 for the Cardinals. Tino sends a man in motion. Now a handoff to Puckett. Puckett going up the middle, splits the offensive line open. And he'll pick up about 5 yards on the play, brings him down on the 15-yard line. They're right back to where they started this set of downs. Now 3rd and 10 on the way for Plainville.
And this is going to be another big 3rd down opportunity because, remember, they were all the way down here in their 2nd, 4th down, went for a run up the middle, could not convert on a 4th and 7, so this 3rd down is going to be major in how many yards they get, what they do on that 4th down.
Clock goes under 11 minutes. Tino sends a man in motion. Fakes the jet sweep, back to throw it, fires one to the outside, he's got a man! It's caught by Reich and Brown, all the way to the goal line! Touchdown Cardinals!
Reich and Brown with a nice touchdown pass reception for the Cardinals.
Brown came across in motion, it was a fake jet sweep. And then the pass to the outside there did everything the Cardinals needed them to do. And the man who came across in motion on the play action there for Brown was able to haul in the ball and punch it in for 6.
Having the long 3rd down, like I said, was very big on it, and this is going to put them in a great field position.
Cardinals lead at 14-12. They go for 2 now. Snap goes back to Tino. He fires it in the end zone. It's caught. The 2-point conversion's good.
2-point conversion.
The Cardinals lead at 16-12.
And that is a great opening drive here to come out here. The big kick return, had a great play. Had the one hold that brought him back all the way here. After just getting a first down, it needs more yards after the big run from, Puckett, and then just finishing all the way there. Great work by them. That's how you want to start off the second half, is with this energy, because you're going to have momentum into it. Both teams really went into halftime no one really had the big side of momentum, but this right now, everything's screaming Cardinal football.
A big tone-setting drive to start the second half of play for the Cardinals here on their homecoming night. 10:41 left to play here in the third quarter. And now the Smith Center Redmen are going to have to do something to find their way back onto the scoreboard as they trail by 4.
And it's not the first time, though. They've had really big plays in that first half to put them up, that 12-8 there early. And so they just need to do that here now on their first offensive drive here in the second half. I've said multiple times they just struggle getting those first downs. If they get the first downs, get more plays, they get more momentum into it, and then that's just going to help them going through and possibly pushing it in.
And a flag flies right as the ball's kicked off. And a false start's called on Plainville off the kick. And so that'll push them back 5 yards, and they'll have to try the kickoff once again.
Yeah, that's one of the things, too. If you're not the kicker, you got to stay behind the line until it's kicked off, because you see a lot of that a couple times is they get a little too antsy and go faster than the kicker's going, and then they just break that line of play right before the ball's kicked off. So as somebody, you got to watch your kicker the entire time. Then you watch the ball as it goes down the field.
Back to receive it for the Redmen is both McKelvey and Doan. A little blooper of a kick. It's touched by the Cardinals. Is what it looked like. He kind of slid right next to the ball. It was almost an onside kick attempt in a way. It was a very far away to try an onside kick there. I don't think that was what they intended to do. The ball kind of was almost like a blooper in baseball, where it like kind of pops over the infield and drops right in that gap. And the ball stayed in bounds, I think, before it was touched.
And so what those are called pooch kicks, just trying to get over that front line or two and just put it in the spot perfectly placed to what a speed that you had to get it down the field. Almost had possession of it. Unfortunately, just, like I said, went out of bounds, or he went out of bounds with it.
The ball will be spotted on the 37-yard line. I formation for the Redmen. Hutchinson hands the ball off. It'll go right up the gut. And it's met very powerfully by the Plainville Cardinals. And like I said, the battle in the trenches has been very evident, especially when Smith Center's on the football. Historically, they've been a run-heavy offense, and all the postseason runs they've made, running has been their claim to fame. It's been their centerpiece of their offense, and you've seen that here tonight. Hutchinson in the I formation once again. He's got wide receivers on both sides. The snap, high snap. It's handed off to Powers. Powers wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. A big tackle for loss for the Cardinals.
Great job right there. He had an offender on him too right there. I believe that was number 3 Stahl right there. And he got back there, had a guy, got around the wrap, still with one hand on him, pulled the running back in with him, and just brought both of them down. Great work by him, bringing this a 3rd down and long, which really is for a run team like these guys. You know, both touchdowns for them haven't been very long, but also struggle with these just because how much yardage they have to get here.
Zane Stahl on the tackle for the Cardinals. And now Crispin Myers trying to pump up the home crowd. Hutchinson, same setup as last time. This time it's a keeper. He gets out to the outside, makes a man miss. He's got open grass in front of him. He picks up a first down, still on his feet. A burst of speed brings him inside the 40-yard line. A huge gain for Hutchinson.
Great blocking there. Made this gap so big, you could probably fit 3 players arm in arm next to it, but from the Smith Center front line there, and he just had so much room to work with. The linebackers flowed with it, and just he turned on the speed, like you said, burst of speed, moved all the way down there. You get that first down, now you get the fresh set of downs, you backed into it.
The Redmen continue to move the chains. 8:53 to go here in the third quarter. A receiver to both sides, 2 running backs in the backfield for Hutchinson. The snap, now it's handed off. This time it goes to Nichols. Nichols still on his feet, brought down just shy of the first down marker. Looks like he'll be about a yard shy on the play.
The Redmen brought down by Owen Brewster of the Cardinals.
The Redmen break their huddle. It'll be the same formation as the last time they lined up. Hutchinson goes for the hard count, and he'll hand it off. And it's punched right up the gut. And it looks like that'll be enough for a first down.
It seems like they're actually going to call him short there. And like, those great job by the Cardinals are meeting him at the line, and they're going to keep him basically maybe an inch or two with the ball ahead of him. But as from right here where we're looking, it does look like it's on the line.
So it'll be 3rd and short. Brant Wilson was on those last 2 carries. Redmen line up in the same set, this time sitting a man in motion. It's McKelvey. The handoff going to Wilson, and it looks like he should have enough this time for the first down.
And right there, you know, great job by them just powering through it there, you know, pumping those legs. Like I said, we've talked about the Cardinals running backs doing that all night. Now it's time for Smith Center. Like I said, their big run game has been their centerpiece for many years and probably many more years to come. So you got to design plays to, you know, get those extra yards. And also, like you said, we saw with that 3rd down conversion with 3rd and long, had to get those as well.
7 minutes and counting here to go in the 3rd quarter. Clock continues to run. Hutchinson out of the gun. Drops back. It's a handoff to Powers. Powers powering through the offensive line. It's a lot of powers there on that play. It'll bring up 2nd and medium for the Redmen. 2nd and 7's the official spot. Ball on the Plainville 24-yard line. A receiver to both sides. 2 running backs in the backfield. He'll send McKelvey in motion. Fake jet sweep. It goes right up the gut to Wilson. And a gain of a couple yards on the play, and Smith Center continues to pound the rock right up the gut.
And right there, you know, it's been working there. Like I said, all they need is that 3rd down conversion kind of blocking there, and they're going to find the gap and run. That's one of the things I showed about is once they find the gap in both the touchdowns and that 3rd down conversion, they run through it, and they are unstoppable and probably cannot be caught. As a defender for the Cardinals, they need to plug those gaps and find their guys.
3rd and 5 for the Redmen. 2 receivers out to the left. Hutchinson in the I formation. Snap goes back. Hand off to Powers. Powers met with force. The Cardinals come up with a big stop.
Smith Center's now going to get tough with a tough decision here on 4th down. It looks about 5 or so. And so they got to figure out, hey, what are we going to do here? We've had a great 3rd down conversion, but this is a little bit riskier with the run game is if it doesn't work here, you're really in a sticky situation. I don't see him kicking here, so I definitely see him running for it, but what play are they going to come out with? A little quick pass, like they've seen that a couple of times here. I'm excited to see what they're going to bring out here, or if they're going to change anything up, or just, like you said, pound the rock up the middle.
Rylan Hamel came up with a big tackle there for the Cardinals on that last play. Hutchinson, shotgun formation. Fakes the handoff. It's a keeper breaking to the outside, cutting inside again, all the way to the goal line. Parker Hudson with an explosive play. His 2nd touchdown of the night. Parker Hutchinson showing his speed.
What a great job. Like I said, there was the blocking right there. He had the option, put it back in there, and as soon as that got him, he hit it so quick, and then nobody in that secondary was ready for him. He got to that outside and was just untouched.
The Redmen lead it 18-16, a 2-point lead here with 4:35 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Plainville faithful stomping their feet asking for a stop from their defense. Hutchinson sitting McKelvey in motion. And a keeper for Hutchinson isn't going to be enough, and now it'll be a 2-point ball game with 4:35 left to go in the third quarter. It's getting closer and closer of a gap here, and it's crazy to think that Smith Center scored 3 touchdowns to Plainville's 2.
Yeah, and that's where those 2-point conversions really come into effect here. It's like, if you're not getting that, you could be up 4 more points here against Plainville and being up an entire score plus a 2-point conversion. But, you know, with that, it's a struggle there for them to get in. So now, if Plainville goes down and scores against them, they're going to have a struggle, especially if they get the 2-point conversion, because it'll be an entire score ahead. So they'd have to score plus put the 2-point conversion on it, especially when we get to that fourth quarter of play. We're about over halfway through, you know, this third quarter. So really looking forward to the fourth quarter play here in what they kind of come out here and how they defend this, you know, Smith Center offense. Well, Plainville offense.
It's been a nail-biter start to finish, and we're starting to get into crunch time as we near the fourth quarter. As I said, 4:35 left to go here in the third quarter. And Plainville will look to drive the field once again. They had that kind of trick play on the kickoff the last time they received the football. It was a handoff in the backfield, and it was almost a lateral of sorts to allow the Cardinals to pick up really excellent field position there at the start of their last drive.
No, you're definitely right there. They were doing so well, and you might see something similar again. Like I said, it looked a little bit like a botch, and then he just kind of gave it off to him like, hey, you're better with this. You're already here. Just take this and go. I've seen that a lot actually happen more than you think, especially in the front line where it's kind of a botch. You kind of just toss it up to a guy and runs it all the way in.
A kick that goes straight into the grass, jumping on top of it. Touched by Plainville. I'm seeing hands pointing both directions, and I think Plainville got on top of the ball.
Ball will be put down to the 34-yard line, where Plainville will have it first and 10.
And it'll be Plainville football on their own 39, in a very scary situation there for the Cardinals. That could have been really bad if they wouldn't have jumped onto the football there at the end.
And, you know, I get not, you know, running into your guys and stuff on a kickoff. But if I'm on a kickoff, I'm diving for the closest ball I see. If it's on the ground, I'm making sure I get to it. I don't care if I run into you or not.
A handoff to start the drive. It goes to Puckett. Puckett breaks to the outside and is pushed out of bounds. About a 3-yard gain on the play for Drayden Puckett.
So we might see them, again, running this clock down, moving the ball down slowly and using that run game. You know, they need to capitalize here and put themselves in a probably really great position. And so if they're able to do that, they're going to look really well, especially going into this fourth quarter.
Both squads boast a very strong running offense. Tinazio will hand it off, and it goes to Puckett. And a flag flies right around the line of scrimmage, and that will likely be holding on the Plainville Cardinals.
And like I said, I talked about it earlier. They've been struggling with that all night long. Is almost all of their calls on them have been holding. And, you know, that's something as an offensive line. You were doing so well in the first half, and then you kind of got into the second quarter at 3 with 1 with decline, and in the third quarter already have 2 this turn. It's really putting your team in a really rough situation, putting you very long outside the sticks and a lot more yardage. So you're a lot more stressed and you're a lot more, you know, not in a momentum with it because you're so frustrated about these flags.
The ruling on the field was a face mask against the Cardinals, so they'll be pushed back quite a bit of yards, and that'll set up 2nd and 17 from their own 27. Datino fires one out into the flat, and he's met hard behind the line of scrimmage. And that's going to be a tackle for loss in favor of the Redmen, and that's going to push them back at least 3 or 4 more yards, and that will set up 3rd and very long for the Cardinals. They've got to pick up a lot of yards here on this play if they don't want to punt the ball.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They need to put on an offensive here. Like I said, they needed this drive. These penalties have been hurting them. I talked about it earlier in the game, is whose penalties are going to be less hurting here, and it's really, you know, Smith Center's had those big 15 yards penalties for against them, but now it's the other side around. These holdings and those face masks against Plainville's really going to hurt them in the long run.
Tatino with Stahl to his left in the backfield. It's a handoff to Stahl. Stahl breaking to the outside. Open field in front of him, and just short of the first down. He's wrapped up right at his ankles. He's brought down in bounds, so the clock will continue to run, but it'll bring up 4th and short, a lot more manageable than the 20-plus yards they had to go last time. We'll see if they decide to go for it. The offense stays on the field. Tatino in the shotgun formation. He's got 2 receivers out to the right. A running back with him in the backfield. They look to the sideline for the play call. And a timeout called for Plainville as the game clock continued to wind, the play clock continued to wind down. It was right around 12 seconds when the timeout was called. It's almost like maybe the comms weren't working or the communication systems were kind of messing up, because it seemed like everyone out there on the field was very confused, and I think that was a good call there to go ahead and call timeout.
And it kind of hurt them there because they beat, Smith Center to the line. They were set, ready to go, and then the quarterback looked over and everyone was confused on the line, so that's forced them to use the time early, and we saw how bad that hurt them in the second quarter when all their 3 timeouts were used when they needed that time to move down the field. And so they kind of had a rush here. Still don't have to rush here, though. They need to take their time, move the ball, just get this short if they're going to go for it, or punt it away. It's a big choice here, especially with this timeout. Have more time to think about it, especially since they don't have the element of surprise or quick ball here, getting to the line anymore.
2:57 to go here in the third quarter of play. We're quickly approaching the fourth quarter, and Plainville is on their own 42-yard line with 3 yards to go for the first down. Plainville breaks their huddle. It'll be interesting to see what the play call is here, as they're really close to midfield on this play, but still in their own territory by almost 10 yards. A big 4th down. The offense stays in the field. 2 receivers out to the right. Tatino with a running back in the backfield. It'll be a handoff to Puckett. It's a stop. The Redmen stand tall and stop the Cardinals on 4th down.
And right there, I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to slip him out that outside, overload that right, and then have him slip on the outside to the left side and hopefully just get the few yards in. But they just sat there, waited, and met him immediately as he got to the line. And so, that's another 4th down conversion they have yet to complete here tonight.
And the Redmen side of the football field was very excited about that stop, as that was a pretty crucial stop in Cardinals territory. And they're going to come out and measure the sticks to see if they had enough for a first down. And it looks like they're going to be well short of the first down.
And so we talked about the very first one, the 4th down conversion, why they didn't bring it on 6th down, because it looked a lot closer on that one than this one did. So I don't know if it got requested by one of the Plainville's coach this time or whatnot, but regardless, it is going to not go the other direction in Cardinal territory.
I was just thinking the same exact thing. It's like that first drive seemed like that ball was almost seemed like right in line with the stick. But this time, it seemed like it was well short, and they come out and measure it. Hutchinson in the I formation. Handoff goes to Powers. A early flag flies on the play. It'll be a false start on the Redmen. They'll be pushed back 5 yards.
And that's the first kind of call that wasn't a big 15-yard penalty against the Redmen there. False start. They played pretty well other than, the big mistakes, the pass interference, the late hit, the, just things that are not going well for them there. The face mask, they need to get it together here, especially with those. That's why it's such a close game, because they've been just given free yards.
Hutchinson with a running back directly to his left and then one further behind him. The handoff. It goes to Powers. Powers breaking free. That's Wilson all the way to the house. Brand Wilson, another big play for Smith Center. It seems like these big runs, when you least expect them, end up turning into big-time plays all the way to the house.
And it's crazy. Like, again, like you said, it's just random. It comes out of nowhere, and they just break free. I looked up, looked down, looked back up, and he was already through the front line untouched.
I blinked for half a second, and Wilson took off. 2:35 to go now in the third quarter of play. The Redmen go up 24-16. An 8-point lead. This would be a big stop on the 2-point conversion if Plainville can stand tall. Snap goes back to Hutchinson. It's a keeper. He breaks to the outside, and the 2-point conversion is good. A 10-point lead for Smith Center.
And right there, like you said, this is huge for Smith Center because now they go up 2 scores against the Cardinals here on their homecoming night because they just run to that outside, and right there, they've done the same thing on the touchdown play and the conversion is that he runs to the outside and he waits for that blocker to push his guy out, and there is nobody sitting on that right side there. He has so much room to work with. And as Cardinals, you got to see that is have someone there help contain. I get the blockers there, but you got to have someone in your middle line or secondary in the fullback to come up and help with that.
And it seems like Smith Center really struggled with their 2-point conversions in that first half of play. The second half now, they come up with a big 2-point conversion as that'll put them up by 10 points and 2 scores now. So Plainville will have to touch the ball at least twice before they'll be back in this ball game with the Redmen.
And so if they really need to, they really need a score before the end of the third quarter, because if they don't, it's going to put them a lot less time here. 12 minutes left to go. If they don't score here, they need to make a big drive here in response to this in order to not only keep the energy alive, but not give Smith Center any time to do anything.
And this is the part of the football game where mental fortitude is very important. We've seen a couple times throughout the game where mental aspects of the game have really come into play on that false start you saw there right before halftime. Guys are starting to get tired, and this is where it matters most. A short kick by the Redmen, and the ball is jumped on top of by the Cardinals just past their own 40-yard line, and that's where the offense will take over. Pretty favorable field position, you've got to think, for Plainville, especially with them trying to find a score here before the end of the third.
Definitely going to need every single yard they can get here.
Tatino with 1 to his right in the backfield. It's a handoff. Met right at the line of scrimmage. Zane Stahl on the rush. And it looks like they'll spot the ball just behind where they started on that last play. Looks like maybe a yard was lost on the play.
Seeing a lot more rush coming from this Smith Center D line here, and that's really been causing a lot of trouble here for the Cardinals because they haven't had enough time to run anything or get any room to, move the ball up the field.
2nd and 11 to go for the Cardinals. 1:56 left to play here in the third quarter. 2 receivers to the right. Tatino stepping back to throw it. A big throw downfield. Does he have a man? It's incomplete. It slips right through the hands of Davin Williford. And what looks like a really promising play for Joey Tatino in the offense turns into heartbreak for the Cardinals.
And that was a huge job. He looked like he tried to hand off and then took it back. Had his defenders are getting him time, but he was basically surrounded. 1-2 more seconds there. He might have just got sacked there. So great job getting downfield. And like I said, kind of reaching for it. Wasn't able to bring it in, though. It's a hard catch to make for anybody in this level of play here for these guys.
Tatino with 1 to his right in the backfield. 2 receivers out to the right. Same setup. Drops back to throw it again. This time it's to the outside of the field. Intended receiver was Ari Patel. He's been the primary wide receiver for this Cardinals offense, and he's been a go-to target for Joey Tatino. This time the ball falls incomplete and brings up third down.
So 3 and out maybe is what it's probably going to be here.
Correction, that's 4th down. That was my bad on that one. And like you said, 3 and out might be in the cards here, as it looks like they're in a punting formation now. 1:40 left to play. The punt goes into Smith Center territory. It's picked up right around the 20, breaking to the outside, staying on his feet, and out of bounds. A big return for Reed Doan. The question is, where did he step out of bounds? It was hard to see from our side of the field where he stepped out of bounds exactly. It looks like they're going to spot him just past the 30-yard line, so pretty decent field position for the Smith Center Redmen, as that ball was pretty deep in their own territory. A pretty nice punt there from the Cardinals, but they were unable to come up with a tackle there, and that's going to come back to bite them. Hutchinson with a running back to his left in the backfield, then one directly behind him, a receiver to both sides. The snap. Keeper to Hutchinson to the outside, spinning around a man, finally wrapped up after a gain of close to 7 or 8 yards on the play. Hutchinson is so slippery with the ball in his hands.
And the thing is, he's running the same play over and over and over again, finding success. Because again, there's nobody on that right side. As soon as that blocker gets blocked outside, he goes right in between them and just finds so much room to work with. And like I said, he's so slippery too. He's gonna move his way or dance his way all the way down, putting him in a 2nd and 1 or 2 here.
2nd and 2 for the Redmen. And as the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Hutchinson in the I formation. One receiver to both sides. Sends a man in motion. The handoff this time will go to Powers, who will force his way through the defensive line and pick up the first down. Zane Stahl comes up with a tackle for the Cardinals on defense. And the clock continues to tick as we're approaching now the 30-second mark. A fresh set of downs for the Redmen. They're going to have to run at least one more play here before the end of the third. Smith Center leading it by 10. Hutchinson, same formation as last time. Out of the gun, the snap. This time it's handed off right up the gut. This time it's Reed Doan on the carry. And that will conclude the third quarter of play with a gain of about 2 yards. That'll bring up 2nd and about 8 when we come back from the conclusion of the third quarter. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Tiger Media Network's Area Game of the Week. Smith Center leads at 26-16. We welcome you back to Plainville, Kansas. If you're just now tuning in, I'm Eli Blankenship, joined alongside me, Kyler Rowden Stum. It's Tiger Media Network's Area Game of the Week. Plainville trailing in their own homecoming matchup between them and the Smith Center Redmen, who are really charging the field. It seems like right now they're really close to midfield. 2nd and 8 on their own 46. They lead at 26-16. Hutchinson with a receiver to both sides. Sends a man in motion. It's McKelvey. This time it's a handoff right up the gut. And a pretty nice gain there for Smith Center. Brant Wilson on the carry, the 205, 6'1 senior. Playing some physical football there right up the gut.
That's what they've just been doing all night. Smith Center, like I said, just been hammering. And I don't know what happened in the Plainville defense. They were doing so well, stopping every single chance to it. Now they just didn't find that rhythm like they did in that first half.
Same set as last time. Hutchinson trying to get on the hard count. Handoff to Powers. Powers lowering the helmet. And it looks like he'll have enough for the first down. It just depends on where his knee goes down. And the question will be, will they give him the first down? If they don't, it'll be 4th and literally inches.
It is quite literally. I'm quite lined up with it. And literally, if they brought out the chains, I bet you they'd call it a first down. It is pretty close. It's probably as close as you can get without it being a first down. And so the clock continues to run. They just need to get a good play here. The Cardinals would be a big job here if they put a stop here.
I formation for Smith Center. Ball goes back. It's a handoff right up the gut, and that'll be more than enough for the first down. Handoff goes to Brant Wilson. He picks up the first down after a nice gain on the play before that. And as you said, the ball looked like was halfway past the first down marker and halfway behind it. And that'll bring up a fresh set of downs for the Redmen as they are on the Cardinals' 45-yard line.
And like I said, it's a 10-point game, so the Cardinals need to touch the ball at least twice and push it down the field. And they're running out of time here, and they need to make a great defensive stop here and not let so much time get out. Remember, they've already used the timeout in the third quarter, so they only have 2 left.
Snap goes back to Hutchinson. Handoff to Wilson. No, it's a keeper. Breaking to the outside, breaks a tackle, past the 40, flag flies. Has enough for the first down. Now the question is, who does the penalty go on? If it's on Smith Center, it could be a detrimental penalty, and it is going to be on Smith Center, holding for the Redmen. Illegal
block in the back.
Block in the back.
And so that's one of the things, too, is with that as blocking, you got to be aware of it, too. Holding's not the only thing. If you don't make contact while he's facing you and you try doing it, it's going to detriment. You see it a lot in high school football just because, he's right there. I'm going to hit him. He looks like he's facing me. He's got to be fully up front, both shoulders, in order to get that hit because that's the second one of tonight, I believe, that got called against him.
That's going to push the Redmen back a little ways after what was going to be a first down run for Parker Hutchinson. Hutchinson lines up the I formation, a running back or a wide receiver to both sides. A handoff to Wilson. Wilson powering through the middle. He slips right through the offensive line and picks up about 6 yards on the play.
And so with those runs there, Plainville's got to start shortening those runs because a 6-yard run every single play is going to start hurting you because especially that penalty may win against them. That's still time you're losing off the clock, about almost under 9 minutes left to go. You got to figure out a good defensive here, especially with this run.
Ball on the Cardinals, 48, 15 yards to go to the first down for the Redmen. Hutchinson out of the gun. Fires it out into the flat. He's got Doan. Doan staying on his feet and brings him back to the first stick. So that'll be a gain of about 5 on the play. And now 3rd and 10 on the way for the Redmen.
Yeah, almost every count is going to be a hard count. So they've only had 1 offsides here. And so Plainville's doing a great job of staying there. But they got to be, again, expect those quick passes. He can do it right there. Great job by the meeting him, not letting him get any fall on the forward, getting those extra 2-3 yards. This is not a 3rd down long. We've seen them do it before where they capitalized and scored on it. So they need to play great defense here and not let them get this.
Same formation as last time. Hutchinson tries to get the Cardinals on a hard count. Handoff goes to Powers, and Powers is met with lots of force from the Cardinals' defensive line. And now 4th and 10 is going to be quite a ways to the first down marker for Smith Center, but it wouldn't be the first time we've seen him pick up a first down off of seeming nothing of what was left on a play. And now 4th and 10 could very likely change the tide of this game if the Cardinals can get a stop here.
No, I definitely agree with you there. I would assume they might punt here, but if they're going for it, it's going to be a very risky but very rewarding thing if they get it.
Offense stays on the field. One receiver out to the left. Hutchinson in the shotgun formation. Two backs behind him. Tried to get the Cardinals on the hard count. And instead, it'll be delay of game on the Redmen.
And so I don't know, like I said, I don't know if they were just trying to get him off hard court, but no timeout call from the coach. I don't know if he wasn't watching, seeing the play clock, whatever. But it's 4th down and long. If they will for this, it's going to be a very, very risky play with I don't know. It could be very rewarding, but I don't think the risk is there high enough to go for it here.
I think the strategy there was they were trying to get him on the hard count, thinking they might jump off sides and they could get some yards. But instead, they went ahead and just took the delay of game so they could be pushed back a little bit further to punt the ball so it wouldn't be back into the end zone. Punt is up from Hutchinson. A spiraling punt comes down right around the 30-yard line. Ball is out. Did Plainville stay on top of it? It looks like they did not. The initial signal from the sideline official is that it is Redmen football.
I don't know if he just wanted to get to the ball real quick or kind of stop it, but he was absolutely surrounded by players, and I'm trying to figure out what made him want to, jump on the ball.
Nothing but silence from the Plainville faithful here on the near sideline. You can hear a pin drop in this crowd. And still some confusion from the officiating crew. And it is Smith Center football on the Cardinals' 29-yard line.
Social awareness is very big in these games. Like I said, we had the roughing the kicker earlier again by Smith Center. That's another social awareness. You've got to be aware of what's around you, especially on those right there. If you get away from that, you get the ball right there.
Hutchinson with two running backs to his left in the backfield. A receiver to both sides. Snap goes back. Hutchinson takes it himself right up the gut. Makes a man miss and is brought down right by his ankles. Right around the 15-yard line. A nice gain for Hutchinson. Puts the Redmen in business, and they have an opportunity to potentially close this game out if they can get one more score up on the board.
Yeah, there's very few little time here left. And so if they're able to get it in here early and quick, it's going to be very detrimental here. So the Cardinals are going to need to put up a big front here or force a turnover would be very, very good for them.
Two receivers to the right. Hutchinson with two running backs in the backfield. Sends a man in motion. This time it's a handoff to Wilson. Wilson powering his way through. And the Redmen are just running straight through this Cardinals defensive line, and it just seems like there's nothing Plainville can do to stop the run.
The secondary, or like the linebackers right there, are all going towards the center, and they're not respecting that outside run. Like I said, they've been doing the same thing, opening that first guy out there who's supposed to be containing, which he is. There's just no one there to help stop until late, and they're getting those extra 8-yard runs.
6-10 and running. Left to play here in the fourth quarter. Hutchinson looking to put the nail in the coffin now for the Redmen. This time he takes it himself right up the middle. Touchdown, Redmen! Smith Center leads it by 16.
Yeah, that was just, again, great job there, great blocking. He seems he's like just had hands as he was flying through, like I said, sneaking his way in there and just kind of walks in almost untouched there without anyone in front of him.
Smith Center 32, Plainville 16. And after a very promising score from Plainville, off their first drive of the second half, it's been nothing but silence from the Cardinals sideline. Now the 2-point conversion. It's a keeper. Pitched off to Powers, who punches it in for 2 more. Smith Center leading it 34-16 after a commanding drive for Smith Center. And a change of possession off of a punt that really may have sealed the deal for Plainville on their own homecoming.
It's a tough situation because, you know, you gotta, as a team, you gotta play those defenses, but really what happens was on the punt, they play a great job on defense there, and then the punt, he dove for it. I wasn't sure if he thought he had to grab it or whatever the call was or whatever communication there was, is he was there and then couldn't secure it with that. So it was just a lack of, again, awareness, as he was surrounded by white jerseys along with his teammates, of course, but it's just a risk you shouldn't have to take, especially on a punt where you don't even have to be near the ball for it to go back into your possession.
We'd like to remind you, Tiger Media Network's Area Game of the Week continues all season long during football season. We're looking at potentially doing basketball season. We haven't quite made a decision on it yet, but it's very likely that will happen. But continue to tune in with us all season long. We'll hopefully get to cover some playoffs, maybe even some state football action late in the season. And so be sure to hit the subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of our broadcasts every week. We put out a preview show on Wednesdays. We talk all things high school sports, and additionally preview and recap our area games of the week, and it's always a good time to get to sit and chat with Kyler as we get to recap all the games. And be sure to stay tuned after this game on our YouTube channel for our post-game on-field interview with coaches and players after the game. It's always good to get to visit with those players and coaches, as they're the ones who are seeing the action firsthand. They're right on the field, right in the thick of it. .5:51 to go. The Redmen kicking things off. The kick stays on the ground. It's picked up by Puckett. Puckett is brought down. Excuse me, that is not Puckett. That's Stahl on the return. And he goes back to gain a little bit on the play. And they will take over on their own 35-yard line.
And so keeping them out of the end zone on that 2-point conversion would have been big for them, because it still would have been 2 scores. With it being 3 scores, it's very, very interesting. They have to score very, very fast.
And being down 18 points is certainly not a position the Cardinals wanted to be in. Hand off to Puckett. Puckett breaks to the outside, makes a man miss, drops his shoulder right into the contact. He was met by Isaac Stansberry, but not before picking up the first down and making it past midfield. Ball's spotted right on the 50-yard line. This is really one of the first times we've heard the Plainville band playing here in the second half, because it's been all Smith Center. It's what it seems like in the second half of play. Snap goes back. This time it's off to Puckett. Puckett breaking to the outside, makes a man miss, and a stiff arm brings the end of his run to a close, but not before picking up a first down. Back-to-back first downs for the Cardinals, and they're moving the chains of authority here.
And, you know, that's what they need. If they want, I don't know if they have the time for it. They need a lot of stuff to go the way here. They need to keep the penalties off and then just keep moving the ball very, very fast.
5:25 and counting for the Cardinals. 2 receivers out to the left, a running back in the backfield. It's a handoff to Puckett. Puckett is brought down just past the line of scrimmage, if not right on the line of scrimmage. That time Smith Center completely snuffing out the run on that play.
And Smith Center, you know, trying to move it quick here, you know, trying to catch him off guard. As Smith Center, you just got to play smart. Got to play smart. No penalties. You know, just play good defense, hold them off here a little bit. You know, let them tire themselves out.
2 receivers out to the left. DeTino with a running back in the backfield with him. This time he drops back to throw it. Looking downfield, fires it all the way into the end zone. No one there to make the catch. And he put a little bit too much juice on that one. Didn't give enough time for his receivers to get downfield. And he was starting to see a little bit of pressure there from the Redmen and wasn't able to connect with his receiver downfield.
And like I said, they've had great arms. You know, we're going to probably see a couple more passes here, trying to just get in the end zone. And, you know, getting the ball down the field, just getting the first down, maybe just punching it in to kind of close the score a little bit closer.
Dottino hands the ball off. He's got Stahl. Stahl's brought down after a gain of about 2 or 3 yards on the play, and that'll bring up 4th and about 7 or 8 to go. 4th and 8 on the Redmen 36. Smith Center leads at 34-16, 4:11 to go here in the 4th quarter of play. Dottino sends a man in motion, fakes the jet sweep, back to throw it, fires one downfield, doesn't have his man. And it'll be a turnover on downs in favor of the Redmen, and I think the writing's on the wall now for the Plainville Cardinals after that drive.
Yeah, just a couple first downs a little bit there, and it's just, I get them trying to move down the ball, and then you just, as a quarterback, you got to be able to just lay it in there, and that's one of the things, too, is just working through it. Still kind of early going in the middle of the season, so you're still working out every kink. You're not going to have everything figured out.
Smith Center leads at 34-16 with 3:55 to go. They've still got all 3 timeouts left. On the other side of the football, Plainville with only 2 left now. And so that also is going to be another factor for Plainville going into the final moments of this 4th quarter, because with only 2 timeouts, it's going to be hard for them to get a turnover on downs here. Quarterback keeper. And a jumping attempt there from Parker Hutchinson to pick up some positive yards. Looks like that play won't really go anywhere. If anything, it comes back a yard, and it looks like it'll bring up 2nd and 11 on their own 35 for the Redmen.
Yeah, very risky thing. Like I said, you jumped up in the air there. He's lucky Cardinal didn't catch him in the air and kind of bring him down with some heat, especially with the score on the board. It's one of those things you got to be cautious here as a player, especially going in later in the season.
Especially a big player like Parker Hutchinson, you'd hate to see him get injured this early in the season, especially with a team that has been showing some postseason promise. Hutchinson letting the clock run, lets the play clock get down to 1. It's a handoff to Wilson, who comes to the near sideline. He's pushed out of bounds, and it'll be a gain of about 5 yards on the play. And holding is called against Smith Center. That'll push them back another 10 yards. That's going to hurt the Redmen, as they still have quite a bit of yards to go to move the sticks.
Yeah, but they got to at least get, running time off. They still ran time off even with the penalties here. It gives them another down, too, as well. And so it moves them back quite a ways, even where they're at, but they still gives them more time to run the clock out. And so whether it's bad for them, get the yards on them, but also give them more time to even run some more clock.
2nd and 15 for Smith Center now. Under 3 minutes left in play, 2:59 if you want the exact minute marker. Ball in the Smith Center 31. This time it's handed off. It goes to Powers. Correction, that's number 8. That's Gunnar Nichols. Nichols brought down by Stahl on that play. And that'll bring up 3rd and 10 on their own 36-yard line.
And like I said, just running on the clock. If they pull it in the air, maybe here just to get it, but I highly doubt it. They've been sticking to the run play. Even in the 3rd down and longs, they've been very successful with it.
Hutchinson with 2 running backs in the backfield. A receiver to both sides. Handoff goes to Nichols. Nichols is brought down. Couple yards past the line of scrimmage, and now 4th and what looks to be about 8 yards to go for the Redmen, and that will likely bring out the punting unit for Smith Center, but not before running off quite a bit of precious time for Plainville. There's about 1 minute and 43 seconds left to play, and just not enough time for Plainville to make a comeback here. Hutchinson trying to get Plainville to jump on the hard count. And timeout is called by Smith Center. We'll take one with them. Don't go anywhere. 1:25 left to go in the fourth quarter. Smith Center leads it 34-16 on Tiger Media Network's Area Game of the Week. We welcome you back to Plainville, Kansas. Smith Center getting ready to punt the ball away with 1:25 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Hutchinson back to punt it. A end-over-end punt is picked up by Plainville and brought down just shy of midfield. And the Cardinals will take over on their own 49-yard line. A nice pickup there on the return by Crispin Myers, the 5'9" sophomore. .116 left to go. First and 10 on their own 49. Back to throw it. Firing one to the outside is incomplete on the far sideline. Intended receiver, Ari Patel. Latino had a nice looking pass to the outside sideline and just wasn't able to haul it in. .112 left to go. Second and 10 from their own 49. One receiver out to the right, running back to his left in the backfield. He switches over to the right side. Tatino back to throw it under pressure is complete. Reception goes to number 6, Owen Brewster, the 6'2" junior, who picks up a reception and puts them just about a yard shy from the first down marker. Tatino drops the snap, and a flag flies almost immediately from the ball being snapped.
And so that one's going to be a flag. I believe it was chop blocking or just hitting below, blocking below the knees, just trying to take him out the knees. I get the blocking there, but it's also a very dangerous thing to do, and you hardly ever see that call out there. It's a little bit stranger than normal, but that's one of the things too on the defensive line is they just got to be careful with that. It's just one of the rough things with it is, as a defender, is you want to try to get those blocks. You try to go low on them because, it's going to stop them, but those are kind of dangerous with it, and that's why it's such a hefty penalty.
So that'll push them back quite a bit of yardage. It looks like the officiating crew working on getting the proper yardage walked off. And they'll step them off pretty much to their own 44-yard line. And it'll be 3rd and 15 now for the Cardinals. And another flag flies. False start goes on the Cardinals, and so after a quite positive gain there for them on that reception on that near sideline, it seems like all that work they did just completely disappeared after those 2 penalties.
Yeah, and it's kind of just, you're getting tired, you know, there's a little bit of time left on the clock. You're just kind of running here.
False start called on the Cardinals. They'll be pushed back another 5 yards. Now 3rd and 20 for Plainville, with 43 seconds left to go here in the 4th quarter. Play action, rolling out to the right, fires one downfield. He's got a man. It's brought in by Owen Brewster, who had a nice gain on the play. Picks up about 10 yards, and a timeout called by the Cardinals with about 6 yards to go to the stick. So 4th and 6 on the way after the Cardinals timeout, and what a game it's been from both squads. The score really doesn't reflect the battle that this has been this entire game. It seems like Smith Center really made a late surge to kind of run up the score here towards the end.
No, it definitely did. You know, Plainville played really, really well defense there in the first half, and that's one of the things a lot of people overlook. You look at the score, 34-16, is these games got overlooked because they just got beat because it was a 1-40 against a 3-0 team. And that's not really what happened tonight. The Cardinals played really, really well tonight on the defensive side and the offensive side. Offensive just had a couple struggles there. Couldn't get the yards they needed. I feel like if they scored on that first possession there and got the change check, I feel like it could be a different game. But regardless of whether that, it's just, you know, a couple mistakes here, a lot of flags on both sides of the field. You know, a lot of things to look back, especially looking over going into the rest of district play.
Well, and you can feel the press box shaking up here with the band and the Plainville faithful kind of jumping around up here on the bleachers by lead of the band and the cheerleaders. And they're still making their presence known here on homecoming night. 26 seconds left to go. Tino sends a man in motion, and he'll just throw that ball towards the intended receiver, Ryken Brown. I don't think they're going to call intentional grounding on him, but immediate pressure given to Joey DeTino on that play.
Yeah, and so he got the ball, but immediately dropped it. Was not really able to grab it up real quick and just kind of throw it out to where our guy was initially. But it's just another one of those things is you got to then looking forward to is work as a team. Those snaps are good. The small things is what's going to help this team, you know, fix on what they're going. You know, they might be progressing to 1-2, maybe 1-3 after tonight. But that's something they got to look forward to in the future. Is the small things to look forward to work on as a team.
And all it'll take from Smith Center is a knee in victory formation. They take a knee, and they're going to let time expire. Smith Center moves to 4-0 on the year. Plainville drops to 1-3, and the Redmen in full display tonight pound the rock from start to finish in what was a very dominant performance from the Redmen.
I definitely agree with you here this evening. It's just, well, like I said, they really surged here towards the end of the fourth quarter, end of the third and fourth quarter, and they played really well. You know, again, the playfield was just the small things. That's going forward. That's what they need. The drop passes, the missed snaps, the penalties. That's what they need to work on because I feel like their penalties hurt them a lot more than Smith Center's penalties did, just because a lot of them were on the defensive side versus Plainfield's offensive side. And that's another thing, capitalizing on those penalties for as a team and getting those scores in when you need it to, and keep just finding momentum.
Heartbreak on homecoming for the Plainville Cardinals as they finish the game 1-3 after the loss. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate all the support we've received in these last couple of weeks. Alongside me has been Kyler Rowden Stum. I'm Eli Blankenship saying so long and good night from Plainville, Kansas.